Hello, everyone. Hello, how's everybody doing?
Good.
Hey,
Good.
how are
How
you?
are you?
I'm well. All right, I'll go ahead and start with the roll. Jada Armour. Hold on. Got some more people waiting to get in. Hello, is Jada Armour here? Nope. Laura Blackstock. Laura Blackstock. Alice Bota. Adiva Brown.
I'm here. Can you give me an email when the class is over, please?
Alice Boda's here.
Okay, I see Miss Bota.
And did you hear me?
Yeah, you said you needed an email?
Yeah, can you email me when we're done with class?
Okay, or do you just need to email me if you have a question, or did you send me an email already?
No, I need you to just email me. It's a personal thing.
Well, because I don't know what it is, just email me what your question is, and then I'll respond.
Okay, thank you.
Chanel Burrows. I got Jada Armour coming in now. Chanel Burrows. Megan Carter.
Here.
Samara Daniels.
Here.
Jayla Davis.
Here.
Calandria Dodd.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Sydney Graham.
Here.
Okay. Sydney Hatmaker. Chloe Jones.
I'm here.
Okay. Jada Lanier. No, okay. Ashley Little. No. Kiana Littlejohn.
Here.
Got you. Cameron McCain.
Here.
LaStacia Miller. See Ashley Little sign that now. LaStacia Miller. And I got Jada Lanier and Ashley Little. I'm sorry, I just signed in. No LaStacia Miller. Jermaine Mitchell.
Here.
Naya Roberts. All right. Chantel Shan.
Here.
Courtney Shannon. Courtney Shannon, nope. Jaquan Smith.
Here.
Daphne Smith Sanders.
Here.
Jeremy Vick. And Tavis Williams.
Here.
Got you. Okay. All right. Some of you probably were getting emails today. I've been grading papers, so some of you've already gotten grades. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more papers to grade. They'll be done. That's for everybody that turned it in. So everyone did not submit a paper. So that's a loss of 10 points. Doesn't mean you can't get it back, but we'll talk about the paper in a minute. I do want to first field any questions regarding, let me see, any questions regarding chapter 6. Chapter 6 was we talked about searches and seizures of property. So of course, before we talked about searches and seizures of the person, stop and frisk, and of course probable cause and arrest, which is the Fourth Amendment applies to arrest, because arrests are seizures. Essentially when you've been stopped or you've been taken into custody. So there has to be probable cause for an arrest as well as a search, to be searched. Then chapter 6 focused on the searches and seizures of property. So not just your person, but your home and personal effects. So that's what we're talking about. Chapter 6 talks about in a case that created what we call the reasonable expectation of privacy, both like a subjective and an objective approach or application of reasonable expectation of privacy. So when we talk about subjective, we talk about that individual person, that subject, what they feel they have a privacy interest in. And then we ask whether or not, then we ask an objective question and saying, is that expectation of privacy reasonable to everyone else or reasonable to the standard person? So what the reasonable expectation of privacy did is it created like a penumbra or of, I guess, it told us what the Fourth Amendment applied to. So you have the Fourth Amendment that talks about papers and effects and stuff like that. But of course, once things started to progress and we got more technologically sound and different things were invented, it then became not just about the obvious things like your home, but it also we had to, because the Constitution was made at a time when some of these things that we have an expectation of privacy in weren't around. Now we had to figure out, it was more than just about what exactly the Fourth Amendment stated, and it was about what we all have a reasonable expectation of privacy in. So in having that reasonable expectation of privacy, that creates the penumbra or the limit of the Fourth Amendment or what it applies to. So of course we talk, always talk about the home and the curtilage, right? And I think you guys, if you looked at my lecture, I talked about what curtilage is, right? So you have the house and you might have a shed out back. For y'all country folks know what the shed is. That's where they to keep the lawnmower. It's like the garage, you know what I mean? So without having a garage, I see you shaking your head, Ashley Little. You got a shed? Where you from? I see. So yeah, so that shed, that's where they to keep the lawnmower and the weed eater and stuff like that. I grew up with a shed. We had to go out there and get it out and cut the grass and do all that stuff and then put it back. But that is also a part of the curtilage. So it may not be the house itself, but it's a structure that's not necessarily within the home itself, but it's a covered structure that is covered because it's on the property. So the curtilage is any covered structure, any that may not be necessarily in the house that would also be covered. And there would be a reasonable expectation of privacy in that as well. So the cops can't come onto your property line, even though your house is one thing, they can't come onto your property line and decide to search the shed just because the shed is not your house. The shed is also what we call within your reasonable expectation of privacy. Then you have stuff like not just property lines, you might even have a fenced in property. You might have a carport or a garage or something like that. All of that is a part of the curtilage. So that chapter also talks about other things that are included in the reasonable expectation of privacy, and it gives us exceptions to the reasonable expectation of privacy, where it talked about abandonment, when things are abandoned. So anyone, if you did the paper, you know, this is what the essay was about. It was about it was essentially about abandonment, or about the reasonable expectation of privacy. So we'll talk about that in a second. But of course, when, like, for instance, if you have a garbage can, so you got, you know, anyone that's in well, most of you guys have lived in Greensboro, because whether you are here now or somewhere else taking online classes, you've more than likely been in Greensboro before, right? Because you lived here as a student. In that situation, you know, we have those green garbage cans. You probably, you know, you guys mostly live on campus, but if you live off campus, we got those green garbage cans that we roll out to the curb on Mondays. We put all our trash and everything we want to throw away, we roll it out to the curb. In that situation, once we roll it out to the curb, it is no longer within that reasonable expectation of privacy. We have abandoned it. Anybody else from the country, anybody else has got a shed? I know y'all shed people out there, but you know, back in the day, you used to just put your garbage on the curb, on the side of the road, like when you do your yard work or stuff you want to throw away and waste. You just put it on the side of the road. Garbage man come by, they pick it up, put it in the truck, crush it, and keep it moving. Once you put stuff out like that, it is now no longer within that reasonable expectation of privacy, because you've now put it out to the public and anyone could just walk by and look at it. You know, if you know, if I'm that's one way they kind of get to the bottom, or get warrants to search what they think of as being drug houses, or, you know, trap houses or anything like that. It's not a trap house, at least a house that's used for manufacturing, selling, delivery of drugs. Because a lot of times, you know, people don't realize when you get drugs, you bring it in, there's going to be drug residue and waste that comes with it. When you get cocaine, you don't just get it in a grocery bag, you get it wrapped up and stuff like that, and they have to unwrap it and then process it. And of course, that leaves a lot of plastic and wrapping and saran wrap and stuff with cocaine residue on it. So, you know, dumb drug dealers, what they do is they put it in the trash can and roll it to the edge of the property. If they're cops that have a suspicion that something's going on there, all that cop has to do is go out to the garbage can, because it's now open to the public, and search the garbage can. They even have the drug dog sniff the garbage can or test what's in the garbage can to see whether or not it is what they think it is. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's theirs, because that's another thing about putting things out, putting your garbage out on the curb, is anyone else can put stuff in there as well. I know, don't tell on me, but sometimes when my garbage can is full and I'm taking my garbage can out, you have that 1 or 2 more bags you need to put in there. I do use my neighbor's garbage can, because there's out there too. I'm gonna put this in my neighbor's can. They'll never know. It's gonna get thrown away. Who cares? So the police would still have an issue, relate or an issue connecting whatever drugs are found in the garbage can to a specific residence, but it at least gives them, they may be able to take that information to a judge and possibly get a warrant to search the residence. So at that point, when you put it out to the public, you've what we call abandoned it, and it is now it's no longer within the reasonable expectation of privacy. So things you put out in the public, things you do in the public, or do in plain view. Of course, the plain view is also an exception. Of course, in that situation, you know, if something happens in plain view of the officers, they can just arrest you, right? So abandonment and plain view are kind of like twin brothers or cousins. They kind of are the same thing. Of course, plain view deals with when they can arrest you because you've done something right in front of them, and they can establish probable cause based upon what they're looking at. And well, of course, the cop has to be in a legal place in the first place, but a legally positioned, somewhere where they're allowed to be legally. But that's how plain view goes. Now, abandonment works much the same way. Essentially, something you've put out to the public and you've now relinquished your expectation of privacy in it by abandoning it and putting it out where everyone can walk by and see it. So in that situation, that's no different than plain view. but it applies to property that's being searched. So that was pretty much what the Sixth Amendment talked about. It talked about other things as well, but primarily just searches and seizures of property and those exceptions to the general Fourth Amendment rule. So abandonment is in that chapter. Abandonment is the main exception to that rule. So now let's talk about the paper. Let me pull it up real quick. All right. And I know y'all see I got some good names and stuff in my writing. I always, gotta have Nino Brown in there. Best movie drug dealer ever. Okay. Once upon a time, Nino Brown and Money Making Mitch were sitting in the kitchen of Nino's house, smoking marijuana and snorting cocaine. Little did they know, Snitching Snooky was on the other side of town, squealing like a pig and telling the Greensboro police that Nino and Mitch were at Nino's crib smoking trees and hitting that nose candy. After hearing this, RoboCop, the head narcotics detective, decided to make a drug bust at Nino's house. As RoboCop and his police team were heading to Nino's house, Rookie Cop asked RoboCop if he should go get a warrant before they go on the drug bust. RoboCop looked over at Rookie Cop and said, "Hell nah, we ain't getting no warrant. I'm the police. King Kong ain't got nothing on me." As RoboCop and his band of police officers arrived in front of Nino's house without a valid search warrant, Nino looked out of the window and saw the convoy surrounding Nino's house. Mitch looked at Nino and asked, "What should we do with all this dope?" Nino responded by saying, "Put it in the trash can in my bedroom. They'll never find it there." After Mitch placed the narcotics in Nino's bedroom trash can, RoboCop and the police kicked down the door and ordered Nino and Mitch to put their hands up and get on the ground while they searched the house. Needless to say, RoboCop found the marijuana and cocaine in the bedroom trash can. Nino and Mitch were placed under arrest for felony possession of cocaine and marijuana. Now they have landed themselves in court at a pretrial hearing where you are the judge. Nino and Mitch's defense attorney, Johnny Cochran, moves the court to suppress the evidence on the grounds that it was illegally obtained due to a violation of his client's Fourth Amendment rights. The district attorney, Chris Darden, argues that the defendant's rights were not violated and that the drugs were found in a trash can and were therefore abandoned and subject to warrantless search. You must make a tough decision here using what you have learned in chapter 3 and 4 of your textbook and only the facts that have been given to you on this page. Please decide whether you will grant the motion to suppress, which will keep the evidence out and result in a dismissal of the case, or whether you will deny the motion and allow the evidence to stay in, which will allow the prosecutor to move forward with his case. Please make a final decision and use legal analysis and reasoning to explain your decision. So, of course, in answering this question, first I want to, so remember I always tell you to read things twice, at least more, well, I would say read it at least 3 times. Of course, you read it the first time just to soak it in, then you read it the second time. The second time you want to get an idea of exactly what I'm asking you to do. So what I do is I put you in this question, and it was a relatively easy question. I'm gonna tell you why it was easy. One reason it was easy is I put you in every question. I'm always gonna put you somewhere procedurally. We're gonna be in some type of hearing or in some type of situation where you have to make a decision, yes or no. So it's gonna always be a motion to suppress. In other words, so you're either gonna make a decision to grant a motion, which keeps the evidence out, or to deny the motion, which allows the evidence to stay in. So that's pretty much everything we talk about in criminal procedure. So as you talk about the exclusionary rule, and I think you've already read about that, that's pretty much what we do in criminal procedure. And criminal procedure, when it's all about remember, is what the court system and law enforcement is about their relationship with us and about what they're supposed to do, what they can and can't do. So in this subject matter, in criminal procedure, in this class, I know some of you have me in other classes, but in this class, it's always going to be an issue of whether the cops did something right or wrong, and whether or not the evidence stays in or whether the evidence goes away. That's essentially what always the kind of the crux of every question, hypothetical question you're going to get in this class, because this is criminal procedure. So we're always talking about whether or not the cops or the judge or an attorney, whether someone in the system was right or wrong. Hold on. So yeah, that's what we're essentially talking about in this class. So I put you in a procedural place where you're the judge and you have to make that decision. So in that situation, I gave you two options pretty much in the question itself. Either you're going to grant the motion, or you're going to deny the motion. So essentially, in whatever answer you gave, you're either going to tell me, yes, I grant the motion to suppress, which keeps the evidence out and dismisses the case, or I deny the motion to suppress, which keeps the evidence in and allows the prosecution to go forward with their case. So within the question itself, I essentially gave you how to answer it. I essentially gave you a choice. So it's not out there where now you got to figure out, well, what should I do? I told you you're either going to do this or this. So you got to choose one. That makes the question easy. Another thing that makes the question easy is I gave you at least one of the arguments, or I gave you actually both of the arguments, as to why you would, pick a side. So I said Johnny Cochran moves to suppress the evidence based on the grounds that his client's Fourth Amendment rights were violated. So right there, I told you we're talking about the Fourth Amendment. Then I said, well, Chris Darden, for the prosecutor, is claiming that the Fourth Amendment rights weren't violated and that the property was abandoned because it was found in a trash can. So I gave you two options, and then I gave you an argument for each option. So I kind of put you in a situation where it was an either or. So that made the question extremely easy. Now, what is the answer to the question? The answer is you would grant the motion to suppress and keep the evidence out. So that is the answer, or the contention that would be the right contention. The right answer is you're going to grant the motion to suppress, which keeps the evidence out. So now, what rule do you apply? Of course, I told you it would be Fourth Amendment, but not just Fourth Amendment and telling me what the Fourth Amendment is, got to go get a warrant. Of course, it's deeper than the Fourth Amendment. It's actually a lot about what we just talked about with that reasonable expectation of privacy. So what that means is because Chris Darden is talking about, they abandoned it. So they don't have because they abandoned it, their Fourth Amendment rights weren't violated. So then you have to talk about reasonable expectation of privacy. And reasonable expectation of privacy is what the Fourth Amendment applies to. That's what they have to go get a warrant to search. So in that reasonable expectation of privacy, you have to explain that the home is within the reasonable expectation of privacy. So because it's within the reasonable expectation of privacy, and it doesn't fall and it's not abandoned, and you say it's not abandoned because it was in the house. So the drugs they had, yes, it was in the trash can, but it was in a trash can in Nino's bathroom, right? So because of that, it falls within that reasonable expectation of privacy. And the cops, in order to break down the door and go search that place at all, they would have had to go get a warrant. Now, if the drugs were found outside on the porch where a cop could just walk up and see it, or outside on the curb or something like that, that's different. And at that point, it actually is abandoned. But being put in a trash can within the home means it is not abandoned. So that is the general answer to that question. Now, in grading, what I'm seeing now, I'm not all the way done. Right now, everybody at least 6 out of 10 points. Now, I know most people say 6 out of 10, that's a 60. Technically it is, that's 60%, but it's not a bad grade. I don't want you to think of each assignment as being, oh, that's bad. The way I grade in this class, because everybody's not going to be a good writer, right? All of you don't have aspirations to go to law school, but your teacher went to law school, so that's how I'm teaching the class. I'm teaching legal writing and persuasive essay writing. So it's what's demanded of you in this class. So I'm going to grade you on that. I'm going to grade you objectively, meaning I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell you whether or not you're a good writer. It doesn't matter to me that you don't want to go to law school. You're in my class this semester, so you're going to be graded on your legal writing. It just is what it is. So because of that, I'm going to grade you for real. If you're not a good writer, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to grade you like you're not a great writer. I'm going to tell you what you need to improve on. Now, the way I built the class, because I know everybody ain't going to be a natural writer. Everybody ain't going to get it right away. We only really got 2 shots at writing assignments in this class. So it's not like we got 4 or 5 writing assignments where you can improve over a 4 assignment kind of basis and get better. You got this one and 1 more, and I'll probably give out an extra credit to give you guys another shot. So I've designed the class so I can grade you for real, so you guys can know how you really write, whether it's good or bad. But if you're not a good writer, it doesn't mean you're not going to make an A in the class, because you guys have my multiple choice, where I, like my midterm and my final, where I give extra credit point. And my extra credit questions, you can literally Google the answer, right? So that's 5 points I'm giving you. I told you where I got all the multiple choice questions from, right? So if you're being diligent, even if you're not studying anything in this class, right, you might just skim over the outline of each chapter, which is really all you really got to do. I sit there and give you a pre-recorded lecture. All you got to do is kind of listen to me, and you'll be straight, and just skim over each chapter, the outline for each chapter. And then all you got to do is go online to the book's website, which I give you in the lectures, and do the multiple choice questions for each chapter. And I told you that's exactly where I get all of my questions. In this class, I got all of my questions from those questions. I literally didn't feel like creating my own questions, so I just stole them from the book's website. That's what I did. So I've told you where my question bank is. So if you go through every chapter and just do the questions, and matter of fact, just copy and paste the questions to another document and figure out and get the answer, because at the end, they're going to tell you what you got right or what you got wrong and why. So by the time you do that, you're going to come out knowing what the right answer to every question is. So guess what? When it's time to do my multiple choice questions, because I told you, I'm not telling you which questions I use, but I'm telling you that's where I got my questions from. Guess what's going to happen when you go take the final and the midterm? You're going to see the same question again, and you're going to already have the answer. So there's no reason you should miss any multiple choice question. The only questions you don't already have is my extra credit question, and those are literally bonehead. They don't even have anything to do with criminal procedure. You can Google the answer, I don't care, and get your 5 points. So what that means, if you got a 6 on this assignment or a 5 on another writing assignment, by scoring great on the final exam or the midterm and getting those 5 bonus points, those 5 bonus points have now absorbed what you didn't do great in. So I literally created like trap doors. So if you're not a great writer, I know y'all, dang, I took a hit. That's crazy. How am I going to do in this class? Even if you didn't do well in the writing, you can still get an A. I've been teaching this class now 8 years. I've had people in my class that just didn't write well. They never got it, but they still got A's. So what it means is, if you're not a great writer, you gotta be good at other stuff, like my multiple choice questions. There's only 2 ways I test in this class, and that's the multiple choice or writing. Then we got the one other assignment, which is the discussion board, which was an easy 5 points at the beginning. All you got to do is tell me about yourself, and that was 5 points. I don't think everybody even did that. So that's 5 points you're missing. So all you got my grade in this class is decided by just tallying up your score, keeping up with your score, taking advantage of opportunities to get extra points. And then at the end of the semester, I'm going to give an extra credit essay. So you can do that. Even if you do terrible at that essay and you get a 5 out of 10 on that, that's 5 points that are just free 5 points. Just do the essay. Even if you're terrible on that essay, that's still points. That's still terrible points you didn't have, right? So that there's safety traps built in to my class, so you can still do well even if you're not a great writer. So I realize everybody's not interested in law school, but I want to test you guys. So I'm not this isn't like my any of my 200 classes. So if some of you guys have my 200 classes, my courts and my courtroom testimony. Those are not substantive law classes, meaning I'm not teaching you law. I'm just teaching you the system, like who works and what their job is, and then in the courtroom testimony, how to speak in court. How to communicate effectively as a witness in court. What are certain small, important rules of evidence you might want to know, and that's it. And this in criminal procedure and criminal law, those are substantive classes where I'm teaching you an actual body of law. So because I'm teaching you a body of law, I'm teaching you the Fourth Amendment, Fifth, Sixth Amendment, how it applies, what the cases say about it, how the law applies. I'm going to test you by giving you facts to apply the law to. So I'm going to give you a fact hypothetical, like what I just did. Gave you Nino Brown and Money Making Mitch from Paid in Full. I don't know if y'all seen that movie. Y'all might be too young for that, but y'all actually probably too young for both of them. Cause I was young when New Jack City came out. Y'all know about that, and so y'all might know about Paid in Full with Money Making Mitch and Rico. Y'all know about Rico.
I do.
But he said, "Yo, cats get shot every day, B." That's what he said. Y'all don't know about Rico, but I give you a fact hypothetical, and then I say apply the law to these facts. What would be the outcome based upon these facts? I'm not giving you anything to create. I give you the facts within the four corners of the page, and you tell me. And in this situation, I even gave you the law to apply. I did it on the sneak tip by telling you what each side is going to argue. But I kind of put you in the ballpark of what you needed to argue. Now after that,
Professor Boyce,
yeah,
can you let Sydney back in?
I think I did.
Okay.
I'm in here. Thank you. I appreciate
Okay,
it. I
you
just
I
wanted to
did,
let you know.
And I got you, Miss Blackstock. I saw you sign in. What was I saying? So really what I'm grading on, I told you how I graded, right? So you get 2 points just for turning it in. They're not, for you guys that in law that want to go to law school, they're not gonna give you 2 points for turning it in. That's Boyce being Captain Saver student. I'm showing you guys love. I'm making it as easy as I can. Then the next 2 points is for getting the right or wrong answer. So in this situation, if your answer is you're going to grant the motion to suppress, which dismisses the case because it takes the evidence out. That is the right answer. So now you got 4 points. Now you can see if getting the right answer is only worth 2 points, that means I care about it, but not that much. What I care about is your ability to organize your writing. Now, of course, I gave a whole lecture on CRAC and IRAC, and that's how I want you guys to write. I spend a lot of time on, there's 3 points that are given to applying the right rule and actually stating the rule correctly. Some of you, I could tell you were applying the Fourth Amendment, but you didn't tell me what the Fourth Amendment was. You didn't tell me about the reasonable expectation of privacy or how abandonment is an exception but doesn't apply here because it was in the house. So I needed for you to explain that, not just say, oh yeah, and this and that, and go straight to it. That's why some of your papers, some of you might have a problem reaching 2 pages because you're not giving me a full IRAC where you give me a real issue or contention statement. You're not stating the rule in full and talking about everything involved in the rule. And then when it's time to analyze that's where the paper should be at its thickest. So the longest portion of the paper is when you start plugging in those facts and applying the law, the rule of law to the facts. So you can talk about specific stuff I put in there. There's a reason I said, hell no, we ain't getting no warrant. I'm King Kong. I'm the police. King Kong got nothing on me. Ain't got nothing on me. I put that in there so you guys can know this fool didn't go get no warrant. I put it out there for you. Then after that, I also said they arrived at the house without a warrant. So I said it a couple times. So I told you a couple times he had a chance to get a warrant and said, hell nah. Then after that, they arrived at the house still without a warrant and kicked the door in. So you know that without a doubt they didn't have no warrant. So that's you can't argue that. Then I tell you where I said the garbage can in the house. So I give you facts that you can use. So I expect you to tell me about those facts in your hypothetical. In answering the question in your analysis portion, tell me about those facts. So when you're applying this Fourth Amendment and the reasonable expectation of privacy, I told you where we were. We were in the house. The garbage can is within the house. The house is within the reasonable expectation of privacy. No, it's not abandonment. And abandonment means it would be had to have been placed on the side of the road or somewhere where it's open to the public or where it can be seen in plain view. And that's not the case here. It's within the house. So I'm giving you all that to explain where you can point out those specific facts in your analysis portion. Then all you gotta do is almost give me your contention statement. If you gave a contention, tell it to me again. In conclusion, I as the judge in this case am going to grant the motion to suppress, which will suppress all the evidence and dismiss the case. And you can even say it again because they violated Mitch and Nino's Fourth Amendment rights. End of paper. So that's how it's supposed to flow. Now, I expected smooth writing, right? So what I expect, some of you guys, and I call this kind of a lazy tactic because some of you guys like, I ain't gonna get 2 pages. How am I gonna get 2 pages? So y'all be, you're worried about that rather than following the structure. You guys literally open up the paper by almost copy and paste and literally giving me the facts again. I know that. I need within the first 2 sentences. I'm gonna give you 2 sentences. I'm gonna give you 1 free sentence. After that, within that next sentence, I need to be knowing what the issue, either what the issue is, if you're gonna give me an issue statement, or what your contention is, if you're gonna jump out there and give me a contention. So that's within the first 2 sentences. I don't want to hear about Nino and Mitch. I want you to say the issue is whether, or I'm going to grant the motion. Y'all, I need to know what the issue is within the first 2 sentences, or what your contention is, what you're going to do. That immediately lets the reader know where they're going. So if you're telling me what we're talking about, what the issue is, or you're telling me what the contention is early on. So when you tell me that, the reader, I flow down the page, I expect to see the rule, which is essentially the rationale that you're using and applying to come to a conclusion. So now you're telling me what rule you're applying. Fourth Amendment, of course. I kind of gave it to you in the paper. But don't just say Fourth Amendment, explain it, and explain the reasonable expectation of privacy, which is what the Fourth Amendment applies to. So it's just not the Fourth Amendment rule, it's what does the Fourth Amendment even apply to? It applies to everything that we have a reasonable expectation of privacy in. So explain what reasonable expectation of privacy is. Then then when you get in within the, you state the rule, then you start to analyze by picking out those facts and saying, well, because they said, hell no, I'm not gonna get a warrant. They never got a warrant. In this case, there was a reasonable expectation of privacy in Nino's house because it was his home. The trash and the trash can was not abandoned, and then you can tell me what abandonment means. Abandonment means that something has been placed into the public or in plain view where the public can see, and there's no longer a reasonable expectation of privacy in anything that's abandoned. But in this situation, it was not abandoned because it may have been in the trash can, but the trash can was within the house, which is within the penumbra of reasonable expectation of privacy. So you start talking about those facts, and then you say, in conclusion, I'm going to grant the motion to suppress because they searched the house without a warrant, which violated the Fourth Amendment rights, and you can close with that. So by the time you've done all that in the right place, if you, let's say if you don't feel like, pinpointing everything, you just want to give me a statement of the facts. If you copy and paste the facts and just put them in the right place, I'll take that. So if you want to just give me the facts and tell me what I already told you, if you put it in the analysis portion of the paper, I'm gonna know you were kind of lazy, but at least you put it in the right place. So that's how your IRAC and CRAC is to be used. So as soon as I open up your paper and start grading your paper, if I'm getting the facts in the first sentences, I know, okay, this person is taking the lazy way out. Give me an issue statement or give me a contention statement right away. Tell me what we're talking about, or tell me what your contention is, and then tell me why after that. Give me your rule or rationale, then analyze. And that's why some of you are having problems getting the 2 pages. If you do a CRAC or IRAC, I mean, you're gonna at least just off that effort get, if anything, give me a page and 3/4, or you probably give me right at 3 pages. And then some of you aren't starting, because you're putting your name at the head and then you're just skipping the line after that. By the time you double space your name in the class and and you putting your band ID number on every line, you done skip 5 lines, so you ain't even starting to write until I know that trick. I see that too. But you're not even writing until you get to like a quarter way down the page anyway. So with me not even counting off for that, people are still trying to struggle to get up to, and you should be able to get 2 pages because I gave you enough facts to analyze. I gave you plenty to get 2 pages off of. So but that's the basis of my grading. That's how I'm grading. If you're not a great writer, do not be discouraged. It's still an easy class, y'all. Don't drop the class, okay? Don't be like, oh Lord, I made a 4 or 5. You're killing me. Do I need to drop the class? No, you don't. You're good. Just realize, try to get better next time. And the difference between this class, some of you guys have me for multiple class, for my other class as well, my criminal law class. Of course, the essay they got in that class was a little bit trickier than what you guys got. You guys I kind of handed it straight to you. In that class, I did not. So they got an essay that was due around the same time, and a lot of them got beat up on the essay, right? But it is what it is. But in this class, you guys did get a little bit easier of a deal in this class. I think your tricky essay may be the second one. Their easy essay is the second one. So it just kind of switches places. So are there any questions about the writing? Okay. So does everybody understand? So right now I'm in the middle of grading. I think I got like 8 more to grade. Also, what I'm concerned with, there were a few people that didn't even turn in the assignment. So I need you guys to focus and pay attention on Blackboard. I know this is an online class, but an online class, no matter how easy I'm trying to make it, I promise you, if you know my reputation, I'm Captain Save a Student. I'm literally not trying to hide the ball from y'all. So, literally, but don't get caught in the trap of this being an online class. You still got work to do. You still need to keep up with that syllabus, and we're still on the schedule. So I've already pre-planned everything where everything is literally going to be available at a certain time. As a matter of fact, at 7 in the morning, y'all got my chapter 7 lecture is going to be up. So tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., guess what? The chapter 7 inspections and regulatory searches is going to be up. Y'all can click on that lecture, read that chapter, and that's going to be up. So everything is already pre-timed, and it's coming out. So everything's already planned. So y'all should be getting announcements, and I know you are, because if one person's getting it, is there anyone that didn't get the announcement that because it came up as an announcement? So my paper assignments come up as announcements. So if the bulk of the class turned it in, I know everybody got it. So you guys need, so that means the people that didn't turn it in aren't keyed in and focused and at least checking their email and knowing what's up. And then you have a week to do it. So it would have been up on the 10th and due the 17th. So even if you didn't see it on the 10th, the announcement was up a whole week. You had a whole week to do the paper. So it's not really an excuse to not do the assignment. So just y'all need to keep focusing and do your assignments. And if you didn't do the assignment, you know who you are. I'm not gonna call. I don't do that. I don't call people out. But just tighten up. Now, even when not doing the assignment, I know 10 points is a big hit. But guess what? Even not doing the assignment, with those extra points and the extra credit through the whole semester, you can still make an A. You don't miss the whole assignment, you can still make an A, right? So just like I said, make sure, if you haven't done a discussion board, that was an easy 5 points, right? Some of you didn't even do that. That was 5 points. Just tell me who you are, where you from. That's all I ask. Everybody didn't do that. So y'all make sure, just because this is an online course, don't get trapped. Don't get caught in that trap, okay? Do your work, just as if we were still in front of each other. We still, being teaching in person. Do your work, pay attention. I know a little bit more is asked of you in an online class because you don't have a teacher that you meet up with every week that's chewing you out and telling you what's due and stuff like that. Now, we have a Zoom every week, and I think I do a good job of chewing y'all out and letting y'all know what's due. But maybe that's not even enough. But just stay on it, and you guys will be all right, okay? Now, are there any questions? Okay. Oh, Sydney, I thought you were saying something. All right. I think that's it. Now, of course, tomorrow morning, chapter 7 will be up for you. My chapter 7 lecture will be up. So you might want to look at that. So that means you need to also read chapter 7. Next week on next Wednesday, we're going to talk about chapter 7. So that's all you got to do this week. Chapter 7 is up tomorrow, and we're going to talk about it in the Zoom next week, okay? No writing assignments or nothing to do. Excuse me. As a matter of fact, the only assignment we even got left, once we get done with chapter 8, the midterm, the next thing we have is the midterm. So you don't have to worry about doing the writing assignment again for a while. And we'll talk about the midterm when we get closer to it. So everything I promise you is going, if you got your syllabus, the little color coded part where it's blue, it's got blue at the top, yellow for each day, white, stuff like that. And that's going to let you know everything we're going to do. I promise you, to make it easy on myself, I planned it all out based upon that schedule. So if you follow that schedule, you should know exactly what's due and exactly what we're going to talk about. So I'm trying to give you the ball. I'm not hiding it. So no reason you shouldn't even if you ain't perfect, you should make an A in this class. I'm not grading on the curve. So y'all ain't fighting for 2 A's. Y'all, everybody can get an A. Just do your work, okay? So if there are no questions, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. And who was that needed me to email them? That was Miss Brown, right? Adiva Brown. I guess it is her. She's gonna email me. All right, bye. You guys take care. I'll see you guys next week.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ma'am.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh,
Thank you.
And I got you, Tavis.
okay. I just wanted to make sure that you had gotten my paper.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
I think I got everybody. Yeah, everybody. I got everybody.
Okay. Have a good day.
Samara Daniels, I got you. Yeah, I got Jayla. Who's that? Jayla Armour, right?
No, this is Jayla Davis.
Jayla Davis. I got you too.
You got my paper?
I got you, Jayla Davis.
Yes.
I did not get your paper.
I sent it as a PDF. You emailed me today. I sent it last Thursday.
Oh, so let me check now.
Okay.
When did you resend it?
No, I sent it twice last Thursday.
Hold on, I'm putting your name in. So what I'm getting, the last email I got from you, okay, unable to use Word due to an unknown error. All right, here's what I have you do. You save it as a PDF and email it to me again because it didn't attach.
It was like a thread of forwarded messages. You didn't get any of those?
Let me see. Let me get,
Because I sent it from my personal email at first, and then I just forwarded it with my Aggie email.
let me see. So all I have. Okay, I got it. I think this is it. Yeah, it was a PDF in the first place, right? I got
Yes.
you. You good? Okay.
All right.
I have a question. I wanted to know
Thank
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome.
if you received my paper.
Hold on, my bad. Shoot. Paper. Gotta have paper to print it. Hold up. There we go. All right. All right. Okay, Miss Daniels, you had a question?
Yes, I wanted to know if you received my paper I sent last week.
I did not. So so what I do is I go straight to my email and I do a name search for everybody and what Samara Daniels. Let me see.
Because I noticed when I sent it through Microsoft, it's being sent to people's spam. account folder.
So the last email I got from you is way back in August when I so I don't have any email work. Now you are sending it to my A&T account, right?
Yes, I sent it through Microsoft. Microsoft Word.
Yeah, hold on. I don't have anything in my inbox from you.
Should I resend it? That's I had to do it last week.
Let me check my personal. Let's see, mirror. No, so I don't have anything in nothing was sent to my personal or my A&T email address.
Should I resend it? Because I had seen it last week.
Yeah, now send it. Are you in front of a computer where you can send it now?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, send that now. Send it to bjboyce@ncat.edu.
Okay. Thank you.
And if you're having problems with Microsoft, like if some reason it's caused the formatting, just send it as a PDF.
Okay.
But I need to know that you're not rewriting and using because I've given the answer now. I need it in like 5 minutes.
Okay. I can send it right now.
All right. Take care.